Why do some American conservatives say, "We are not a democracy, we are a republic"? It's basically a way to deflect criticism of anti-democratic parts of how the U.S. functions. The idea being, if it's not a democracy, then those criticisms don't count since that wasn't the goal. It's hard to argue against those criticisms on the merits. And most people don't want to openly do so. So the next best thing is to try to deflate them. Of course, this has two big problems. One, the US is a democracy. There are various terms, but democratic, republic, etc. are commonly used. It's just not a direct democracy. And also, the founders were very clear that it was supposed to be. And second, even if it were, that doesn't imply it's a good system or above criticism. It's not meant to be an argument in good faith, which quickly becomes clear if you push the person to go in any sort of detail. It's just a snappy, quick retort that can work if it just comes up in passing and the conversation moves on. A criticism of the United States government is that the representation structures designed when the country was founded have aged badly due to a combination of westward expansion plus uneven urbanization plus expansion of the federal government. This has made the federal government far less representative than it used to be. Because now the majority of people live in 9 states and most things in the government are voted on by senators, where each state gets 2 senators. Conservatives are the beneficiaries of this mathematical oddity because more of them live in rural states and thus inflating their power and disenfranchising those that live in urban areas. So, we are not a democracy. We are a republic means that it's good that states vote rather than people. It translates to, suck it. My vote counts more than yours, and tries to suggest it's fair and by design, instead of a bug that is the result of historical oddity. A republic can absolutely be non-democratic. In a republic, the people at the top are elected and not hereditary, but nowhere it is said elected by the people. In communist countries, the people in charge were elected by the party. The republic was technically there. Democracy wasn't. Some people here either pretend or just don't know that we're not a direct democracy. This is an easy one. First, determine the result you want. Then pick a common maxim that supports that result. Intellectual consistency is for pussies. Say there is a choice. Do something or wait. If you don't want to act, say, look before you leap. If you would rather act now, say, he who hesitates is lost. So if an act is anti-democratic or against the will of the majority, do that. This is a republic shtick. And if an act is evil or wrong, slavery, usury, but popular, supported by a majority, then use, it's a democracy. The key is that you're not trying to persuade others, only yourselves. Because they've come to think democracy equals Democrats equals liberals equals communists. If we were a democracy, we'd all vote on everything. Instead, we vote for representatives who decide for us. We're a democratic republic. Remember, North Korea is a republic too, and so was the USSR, so I have no idea what they mean either. We are a republic that has democracy. It's their code for, too many of the wrong people are voting. It's usually in response to people saying that one citizen should equal one vote. Like a direct democracy. Because they are dumb. We are a democratic republic. They are probably from the United States, where the founders specifically did not want a direct democracy and instead formed a constitutional republic. To conservatives, democracy equals mob rule. Oftentimes, It is said in response to someone complaining about the Electoral College or the balance of power. In the federal government, these are institutions specifically engineered in the United States to facilitate a republic over a direct democracy. The same very vocal people claim to be the silent majority that somehow keeps losing national popular elections. Melting face. Because they're losing the votes. Well, they're definitely right. The US is not a democracy. We have democratic aspects, but the important decisions are usually not democratic. We don't have democracy in the workplace for the most part, and where we have a little, it's in unions, but those are 10% of the jobs in America, and it keeps going down. It's hard to categorize. A failed democracy is the best I can think of, but that's just me. Because on the federal level, we are not a democracy. On the state level, we are. The country is not, but the states that comprise it are. There are no elections on the federal level, but elections exist on the state level. We don't vote for the president. We vote for electors that do. We don't vote for policy. Just the representatives that do. Direct democracy sounds good, until you consider that direct democracy can be 9 wolves and 1 sheep voting on what to have for dinner. The US is a representative republic, where we use democracy to vote for representatives who vow to create laws that are underpinned with the protection of people's constitutional rights. So they would not be allowed to vote for mutton for dinner, as that violates the rights of the sheep.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.